Hey there, today we're going to talk about one of the most exciting plays in baseball, and that's the suicide squeeze. I'm going to talk about both the offensive and the defensive side, just a couple tips and some good advice to use when you're implementing this into your offensive game or if you're trying to prevent the squeeze play. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk the offensive side. You got three assets in the offensive side to make this a success. You've got the hitter, you've got the base runner, and you've got the third base coach also. First, we're going to start off with the hitter. Again, the biggest thing about having a suicide squeeze is make sure you have some sort of sign for the hitter to relay back to his coach that knows the play is on. The worst thing that happen is you have a runner charging hard down third base and the hitter did not give a sign. Next thing you know, he's swinging away. Could be a very, very dangerous situation. So always make sure that the hitter has a sign to give back to that third base coach when he's getting ready to do the suicide squeeze. Okay, a lot of times this is where our big question is, when do we square around? As a hitter, I want to square around as if I'm going to bunt for a base hit. So I don't want to give it away too early because then a pitcher is going to have something to do to kind of defend that. So I want to square around just like I'm bunting for a base hit, except my mentality changes as I'm giving myself up as a sacrifice situation. So the best way is when the pitcher's starting to bring his leg kick back down is when I want to square around to try to bunt the baseball. Again, I'm giving myself up. I'm not trying to get a base hit. I'm trying to put the ball on the ground, and I've got to bunt the ball anywhere. Remember, we have our guy running from third base coming in home. So if he's throwing it at me, I've got to try to make some effort to try to bunt the baseball. If it's high, I got to find some way to put the ball on the bat. That's the big key when I'm squaring around and trying to bunt. Remember, the ball has got to be bunted anywhere it is. The other big one that we're going to talk about is being the base runner. Again, a base runner's key is I can't break too early. And I can't show anything too early also. All of a sudden I can't take a 2-foot lead compared to my normal 5 or 6 foot lead if I'm maybe taking off third base. I got to keep everything looking just as I would if the play was not on. So how do I break and when do I break? The biggest key on base running again is we don't want to go too early, and how we do that is we wait for the pitcher. As soon as he gets his leg kick, as soon as he starts moving forward, that's when we break and that's when we go towards home. The reason why we do this is a pitcher is not going to be able to alter anything as soon as he's coming forward. It's a little bit harder from a left-hander to be able to see that, so you might be able to break a little bit sooner. But against a right-hander, he's going to be watching it in the corner of his eye. So if I break too early, he's going to have a chance to do something different and try to fight off that squeeze play. So that's a very important part of base running. Now we're going to talk about the third asset to a successful squeeze play on the offensive side is our third base coach. Yes, the third base coach does play a big part in this. A lot of times, and you got to get in the habit as a third base coach, is every time a runner's on third base, after I give my signs, I need to go walk up right next to the base runner and just whisper into his ear. What that is that's not giving away anything. Every single time, I want to be able to whisper something in his ear, whether there's nothing on or squeeze or only on the right side. This puts me in a good rhythm so I don't try to tip anything, especially that exciting play of the squeeze play. All right, now we've talked a little about the offensive side. Let's flip over to the defensive side. Biggest thing as a pitcher, again, it's hard to defend a well-executed squeeze play put on by the offense. Our biggest concern is we want to make a play. We don't want to try to force the issue. If they make a good squeeze bunt and it's going to be a bang-bang or I don't have a shot at home, I don't want to press it. Just go to first base and get the out. There's nothing worse than trying to press it, throw the ball all the way to the backstop, and next thing we know, we got a guy on first base also. So the situation dictates that I can make the play at first base, and it's not a game-ending squeeze play where I've got to go to home. If I'm pressed for it, if I'm kind of in a crink where I don't know if it's going to be close or not, just go to first base, get the out. Let my offense get that run back. That's the big key to being the pitcher there when you're coming in, or for the third base and for the first base if they're charging in also. I don't want to force a play that's not there. Now, if I see the squeeze play being executed early when I'm still in my windup, how do I make an adjustment? This is what I want to do. All I want to do is then try to hit the batter. I don't want to go for his head, just go for his hip or go right for the middle of his back. What that's going to do is it's going to stop it, going to move that guy going back to third base. Yes, your batter is going to go to first, but however, I didn't have a run score. At least I've got another opportunity to try to make a pitch, maybe to get an out. So, as you see, we cover both the offensive side and the defensive side in respects to having the squeeze play. Make sure to implement all these, and this is Rob Bone for Red Alert Baseball helping you get your game to the next level.